Blitter Ride number 5, 2020, COVID-19 edition, man.
Already this year, he's logged thousands of miles, all with a deeply personal memory in mind.
We're gonna roll out on the green light and we're gonna be...
It's called the Peace Peloton, a social movement working to uproot racism.
We just want justice and we just want fairness and peace.
And this championship team is all business, but always finds time for new recruits. These stories and more next on CityStream. Hi everybody, I'm Tony Ventrella. Welcome to CityStream from CenturyLink Field. For nearly 20 years, this place has built a reputation. On game day, it sounds like a 747 taking off. It is so loud. This year, the pandemic has silenced that roar, but the Seahawks are hopeful a limited number of fans will soon be allowed in. From a more serene CenturyLink to a solitary ride, our next story showcases the determination of one man. Greg Roth got rolling in 2014. Just 2 years later, he rode in his first Blitter Ride, which is an event that raises money for cancer research. This past year, he's logged over 8,300 miles on his bike. Producer Chris Barnes explains why he rides.
When I'm on my bike, I'm free. There's no COVID-19, there's no politics, there's none of it. There's just what's happening in the moment. There's just me, my bike, whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm feeling, and nature. It's just that freedom. Cycling is freedom for me. So I guess in the cycling world, I mean, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've played soccer, tennis, baseball, and at this point in my life, I race and I do cycling events, and I train probably about 250 miles a week on average. I ride for my mental, physical, and spiritual health, and to inspire others. You can participate in a sport or activity at a really high level beyond what your mind tells you can do. And so I want to inspire people as they get older to be active and enter events. It could be cycling events, it could be running events, but I think the best part about doing events is a lot of them are related to raising money for charities.
Out of all the events that I ride, the most important event is Fred Hutch, a Blitter Ride, which at its core is a cycling event consisting of between 1,000, 2,000 riders riding to honor those they love and to raise money for cancer research.
Blitter Ride raises funds through our donor network. We really rely on our participants to reach out to donors, friends, family, co-workers, in order to raise funds for their efforts through Blitter Ride.
Thank you, and have a great ride.
Some of our biggest cheerleaders, such as Greg Roth, is one of the reasons why we're as successful as we are.
Blitter Ride number 5, 2020, COVID-19 edition, man. And then I didn't even know where I was. It's like, I just check, okay, how many miles I got? And then it's like, oh, I know where I am now, yay.
So I rode my first Fred Hutch Blitter Ride in 2016, and the reason I chose to ride it was in reaction to something that happened when I was 11. Here, let me back up and kind of go back to the beginning of the story. When I was 11 years old, my mom died of cancer. She was 31, and I watched her body deteriorate, over the course of a few years. Her body was ravaged by radiation therapy. She had bone cancer. She would take a step and break her foot. The last summer of her life, she was probably in the hospital most of the summer before she came home to die. So, for me, doing Fred Hutch Blitter Ride was I guess, a way to heal. Because for a lot of years, I kind of buried it, Using cycling to honor my mom and to do something positive in the community on behalf of my mother, so that mom's memory could live and that her death could be meaningful. I can't change the fact that she died, but I can do something positive from it.
This has been a dream of mine, to put a team together and do this, and you guys are all here.
So after Obliteride 2016, I had met these two women, Jenny George and Ashley Berg. They were both young moms and both had dealt with cancer. Jenny had cancer and won. Ashley, on the other hand, was right in the middle of the battle with stage 4.
So the first year I did Fred Hutch Obliteride, I rode 50 miles, and I actually felt really good and felt like I could have gone longer. So the next year I said, I'm gonna do 100 miles. And instead of just riding for my mom, I thought it would be really cool to honor 2 other moms as well as my mom. And that's when I thought of Ashley and Jenny. And then I thought, wouldn't it be cool to document that experience in the form of a movie? So I've decided to do that, and along with Jason Tang, we've been working on this documentary for 3 years now.
But the best part of the shot's the composition, was the way the light's hitting the water, and then just the dusk, and the way that the sun kind of just kisses the top of Mount Rainier, and then you see the city in the background.
That was from the shoot, the winter shoot, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, my friends that are not going through cancer, I think that we're kind of getting more in that age where we don't go out as often.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I don't know. It's when the cancer migrates to other parts of your body, and the cancer wants to live, and the cancer's smart, so when you remove the primary tumor, it will find a way to live somewhere else, and that's when it kills you.
So we decided to make the film, and in the process of making the film, I got to interview Ashley and spend time with her.
So after I had the chemo, then I went through daily radiation for 6 weeks. So going in every day.
My mom did that. Oh my gosh. We had deep conversations, and she opened up to me, and I opened up to her, and we just held nothing back. And through that process, I just fell in love with her. This film project became the most important thing I had, and Ashley became the center of it. She died the day after Mother's Day on May 14th, 2018. She stayed alive long enough for her last Mother's Day. And she passed away at 2 in the morning.
I bring these photos with me of Ashley and my mom. They look so much alike, but I bring them with me when I'm riding to keep them present in my heart. And I also feel that with the photos, and I look at them, that they're with me. And especially for events or special rides where I want that, extra inspiration.
Greg has done an incredible job of riding in the name of loved ones that he feels he needs to honor. And I am so grateful that Obliteride has given him this opportunity.
When I'm out riding, I think of Ashley and my mom all the time because I think of their struggle. If I'm up on a climb or a hill, it hurts, and I'm struggling to get to the top. But then I think about their struggle, like their day-to-day struggle. So yes, that inspires me. My mom was a real hero, and Ashley, she's a real hero.
Very personal, incredible story. Thank you for that. If you'd like to check out more on Greg's movie, just go to weridey.com. The full movie will be released in 2022. Just ahead, we continue the cycling theme, pedaling for peace, as CityStream rolls on. A group calling for social justice could be rolling through your neighborhood soon. Brian Callanan has the story on the bicycle riding demonstrators of the Peace Peloton.
What does protest mean to you?
You see how he's doing at me? You see how he's doing at me? You see? That's the police right there.
And more importantly, what happens to the purpose of that protest when the cameras start fading to black?
The second thing is, if there is no consistent energy behind your movement, it just goes away and people can forget about it easily.
It's an appreciative crowd this morning. Outside Dre's Lake Route Eatery on 57th, just off Rainier Avenue South.
Get the fishing grits! It's all good!
And that's just how Doc Wilson wants it.
We wanted to make sure that we establish a pattern of coming together to create this community and to advance the aims of economic reform for Black people on a consistent basis.
It's called the Peace Peloton, and its goal is simple. Cyclists of all colors and ages are invited to roll into a Black-owned business like Dre's. Money is exchanged, and repeat.
I think it's helpful because it brings awareness.
Sharon Anderson is co-owner of this soul food restaurant, making meals with love from scratch. She's one of hundreds of Black business owners in Seattle, and she's thankful for the economic reform message of the Peace Peloton.
It has to start somewhere. We have to have a platform. We have to have, a movement of our own.
Yeah.
We just want justice, and we just want fairness and peace.
We're gonna roll out on the green light and then we're gonna make that left turn.
But what's a social movement without movement?
Roll and roll and roll, Peace Peloton. Roll and roll and roll. Go.
In cycling, a peloton is a pack of riders who reduce the amount of drag on the riders behind them, essentially helping those who need an extra boost stay in the race.
Long term, we want to see opportunities for people of color.
Charles Ansell has ridden in every event the Peace Peloton has held because he wants to answer the question, can a united, peaceful group reduce the societal drag of systemic racism on those who are impacted the most?
How do you make sure that their stories are being shared, and how do you make sure that their stories are being made aware to other people who can actually make a difference?
Many of these riders say a big part of making that difference is shifting our mindset about how race impacts everything we do.
Honestly, as a white male, I did not see that until I started interacting more with people who were not white males.
Cody, a school teacher, says it's also time for people to take a different path in our understanding of what protesting truly means.
Not every protest needs to be a violent demonstration. You can have a powerful, potent demonstration. Like today, we're riding bikes.
Hi! The Peace Peloton is planning more rides for the fall and winter, and they're hoping to expand to other cities across the U.S. But this group says they're about a lot more than two-wheeled activism.
Thank you.
Doc Wilson has deeper goals for the Peloton, developing entrepreneurs of color, growing their businesses, offering mentorship, and more.
This is about building community. This is about creating access. And as you can see, this is also about us having fun. That formula is going to continue to work for us to have a sustainable program of success.
It's a new song of protest in a changing world, so be ready to listen. The Peace Peloton is coming to your neighborhood, if it hasn't already. This group numbers in the hundreds for each ride and has been all over the region, even up to North Bend and Snoqualmie Pass. It's a Peloton not only meant to help other riders along, but to help them break free.
I love the bike. I love these people. I love what we're doing. And the fact that I can see real change happening right now, that's our reward.
Each week, the Seahawks rely on a total team effort. Everybody puts their all into the effort, and everyone can celebrate afterwards. With that in mind, the Seahawks have teamed up with most other pro teams in town, plus 21 social justice organizations to create Seattle Unites.
Use your voice, be heard.
This is an act of solidarity amongst the professional sports organizations.
Yeah. Like me, you have the power.
Seattle Unite is an awesome organization, a collective of 21 social justice organizations that came together under a banner of unity, representing BIPOC communities and minority communities across our region. We collectively condemn acts of intolerance, hate, and injustice against minority communities, and this is a moment to unify our voice.
We just want to be treated equally, and we want to be given the same privileges that our white counterparts in society are given.
We've made progress here in this country. However, we still got a long ways to go.
I want kids from neighborhoods
like the one I'm from
to know they have a chance.
Pro sports teams in Seattle are a really close-knit group of folks. And when we had the opportunity to partner with Seattle Unite, the conversations seemed to be very synergistic, and it became an easy way for us to provide an additional platform to those organizations to unify our message.
I want affordable housing
for those who are living on the edge. I want kids from all neighborhoods to know they have a chance.
I want affordable health care for everybody,
rich or poor.
I want the American dream
to work for all people.
Voting is power.
Like me, you have the power.
The stakes are high. Get cracking.
Vote this fall. Be heard.
The beauty of this partnership with Seattle Unites, the message is really simple. We all collectively want you to do three things. We want you to fill out the census.
When we talk about letting your voice be heard, that's the first step.
We want you to make sure that you're registered to vote, and we want you to cast your ballot.
When you talk about change, it starts there. It starts at the polls.
It's really that simple.
3.
To everybody.
1.
Count me in.
We got to make change now, and it starts with us. Only 60% voted last year, and we got to change that. So it's going to be on the website, it's going to be at the stadium, and I know we got a lot of 12s out there, so let's make sure we get out there and vote.
And I hope that moving forward, we all use our voices and whatever means we're able to continue to fight for change and just to create a better world for us all.
Vote this fall. Be heard.
And you've received your ballots in the mail now, so please vote. Election Day is November the 3rd. Next on CityStream, this sport is physical and fast. Seattle's pro rugby team has 2 titles, and it's looking for more. CityStream returns from CenturyLink Field, home of the Seattle Seahawks, who, as you know, started this season 4-0. The last time the Seahawks were 4-0 to start a season, they won the Super Bowl. There's another team in town that's already got back-to-back championships, and yes, COVID-19 did wipe out most of their 2020 season, but they have a three-peat in mind for 2021. Ian DeVere's got the story of the Seattle Seawolves of Major League Rugby.
just think there's such a natural rugby community here, and there's a big population of rugby players that find themselves in Seattle somehow.
One of the reasons why Seawolves are so successful is because the culture was here already.
It's just been not really noticed until professional rugby came here.
It's a crazy, fast-flowing sport, 80 minutes of non-stop action.
It's a flowing game. You play both attack and defence.
The ball can be turned over at any point in the game.
When you're watching it, you can't look away because you might miss something. Which makes it exciting because you feel like you're a part of it.
We rarely use protective equipment compared to football. We'll wear a mouth guard and maybe strap your ankles and then off you go. There's big hits, there's loud fans, and it's, like I said, non-stop.
When I heard about the league starting over here, I just couldn't, say no to this opportunity. It comes to states where I feel rugby is going to explode.
I never thought in a million years that we'd actually have a team in Seattle and a professional team on top of that.
Growing up in Australia, everyone wants to be a cricketer or a rugby player or something like that, So, coming here and seeing rugby develop as quite a new sport, but quite an exciting sport, it's been quite good. Seattle's got such a good connection to the community.
So before every Seawolves home game at Starfire Stadium, we get a bunch of kids together, we get the players out and they get to get involved with the kids. We play a bunch of rugby style games.
No, well done, good skills.
Teach them a little bit of how to hold the ball, run with the ball, work with their teammates, which is huge in rugby, is just to work as a team and not as individuals.
Don't get tagged, don't get tagged. Okay,
Just to get hold of a rugby ball, run around, meet a few of the players themselves. There's not many professional teams out there that the kids get to actually interact with the players pre-game.
In Seattle, Pacific Northwest in general, we want kids to grow up and want mum and dad to get them a rugby ball for Christmas, to get them a new pair of rugby boots so they can come out to training.
1, 2, 3, rugby!
They're the best fans. They want your autograph. They think you're a superhero, especially when you remember their name, remember who they are, and you're 10 times even bigger and just much more impactful. So I love having the kids here.
Hey, call for the ball.
After your career, you eventually want the game to get passed on, to the next generation. That's a big thing for me and something that I'm really proud about, because as a kid that grew up in Seattle playing rugby here, to see more kids actually start playing the game, it just shows continual growth of the sport. The one thing about rugby is that anybody can play it. It's a very inclusive sport. There's a position for everybody, whether you're short, small, big, skinny, tall. Everyone has a place in rugby, to actually make a difference or have an impact in the games.
I know for a fact that women's rugby in America and even Australia is one of the fastest growing sports now that it's an Olympic sport, and to see young girls wanting to play rugby and young kids to see that as a dream or a passion, that's awesome. And that's our goal, especially now in America, is to grow that and want kids to be future MLR stars or Olympians or whatever it be.
3, 2, 1, Quake!
We have the Quake, which is our gay community, They're very involved in our rugby community here in Seattle. It's very inclusive, There's no bias in the sport, which I really love.
You'll see 4,500 people sitting in these stands every week.
You can feel the passion on the field. You can feel it when you're playing. You can feel the passion from the crowd. The best way to learn and to get caught is to actually come to a game. That's half the beauty of the sport in America, is you've got people that know rugby sitting next to people that have no idea what's going on in the field, but they're still coming to the games to watch because of the atmosphere. I think the best thing we can do is introduce more and more people to the game. Hopefully they bring their kids if they've got kids as well, and every game, if they can leave knowing a little bit more, we're going in the right direction.
I know that in 10 years, this is going to be really big. It's nice to be a part of a pioneer of something.
I think every kid has a desire to play professionally for their city. You know, I look up at the fans and I see everyone from when I played with when I was in Little League all the way to men's, you know, that I'm currently playing with. And it's just an awesome place to be a part of.
All right, Seahawks, Sea Wolves, two terrific teams. Whoop, Sue Bird calling. Of course I didn't forget the Seattle Storm. 4 championships, and she was on all of them? That's unbelievable. Congratulations to the Seattle Storm for yet another championship. We'll be right back. Hi, Sue. Well, that wraps up this week's edition CityStream from CenturyLink Field. If you'd like to check out some of the other great shows on the Seattle channel, just go to seattle.gov and click on Feature Shows. I'm Tony Ventrella. Thanks for watching.